All right. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are the Early Career Ocean Professionals, the ECOP program, endorsed by the UN Ocean Decade. This event is the first annual Ocean Fair organized by the ECOP Africa Node. Thank you so much. We are very excited with the week full of activities and interactions. We prepare our program very carefully, thinking about our members and our possible partners and collaborators in the future and the current ones, so we can enhance the professional careers of our African ECOPs. Thank you so much. I'm Sarah Viana, the ECOP African Node Coordinator. So let's open up this session of the first annual Ocean Fair. Firstly, I would just like to thank briefly our core members who really gave me a first hand here organized this event. Thank you so much for the communications and media team, for the fundraising team, all the national coordinators, all the sub-regional coordinators, everyone. Our global coordinator, Virginia Costilla-Naya, who is going to be speaking today. My assistant, Jamaka, and everybody else from the team, the coordinators from the hub, Sophia, Chris, and Samuel, everyone. Thank you so much for all the support, and especially our members that are attending this event throughout this week today. Before we start, I just would like to introduce briefly our ECOP Africa team. You guys don't have to speak, but just to wait for the members. Some of them never been in touch with you before, so please just put your cameras on and wait for them. So starting with my program assistant, Chiamaka Niwajiaku. Thank you so much, Chiamaka. My communications and media team, Hadia Elkoholi and Luis Lancer. The fundraising team is Adiza Mohamed and Linda Lintzfu. Our sub-regional coordinators are West Africa, Isa Olalekan, East Africa, Josephat Mukaya, North Africa, Inez Bojamil, Southern Africa, Elijah Mauri. For the capacity development of our team, we have Samuel Boama. Ocean literacy, we have Sophia Larissa and Chris Niwachuku. Our national coordinators, we have 11 coordinators from Benin, Emmanuel, Cameroon, Alex, Ghana, Gabriela Yeboama, Kenya, Pauline Mowanji, Liberia, Urias Taylor, Morocco, we have the interim coordinator, Zara Okpa. Mozambique, we have Ivaldo Fumo. Nigeria, we have Mustafa Lacho. Nigeria, we have Anthony Akpan. Senegal, Amadou Bitaye. And Togo, Emmanuel Tora. Thank you so much for all the support, team, and let's get started. So just before we go, let me share my screen. I want to just go through here with the with the program of the week, just briefly, so you all are familiar with what we prepare. So we organize this event with in the mind of each day of the week, we have a different subject. So for example, for today, Monday, we're gonna focus only on the regional aspects of our node. On Tuesday, we're going to dedicate the day for capacity development. On Wednesday, to ocean literacy. Thursday is going to be only national nodes, and Friday will be fundraising as well as the communications and media. So each day of the week, we're going to have a different focus, and today we're going to start with myself, introducing the nodes, providing a briefing of the network profile that we have for the African members. We're gonna follow with the answering question session, and then we're gonna apply our preliminary regional consultation survey, which is very important for us to understand the needs and priorities of our African ECOPs. The survey is gonna be implemented only very briefly through our pool, simultaneous pool, each day of this week. So, and also following the subject of the day, all right? So today we're gonna be just looking at the regional aspects that we can understand and discuss more closely with our members and partners. Following that, we're gonna have the highlights of the African node with our former coordinator, Gabriel Juma. And finally, with Virginia Kostianaya, our Global ECOP Coordinator. Closing up the session, we have Chiamaka, our Program Assistant. Thank you so much. All right, so let me just now stop sharing quickly and then we can start with the presentations. All right. And then just share quickly here. Go. All right, can everybody see my screen? Let me just put this up here, organize here. Now, can everyone see my slides?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool, thank you. All right, so let's get started. So our first talk today is about introducing our node, providing an overview of the history of the ECOP African node, our goals, and a summary of our profile in terms of the membership that we have in our continent. Before we proceed with that, I would like to introduce to those that are not familiar with the ECOP program. So the ECOP program is the Early Career Ocean Professionals. It's a program endorsed by the UN Ocean Decade since 2021. The program entitles to empower the new generation, the upcoming generation ocean leaders with a platform where you can hear your voice, in terms of discussions around the ocean decade. The mission is to find a platform where we can discuss and provide new ways of thinking to be comparated with the activities surrounding the ocean decade, but also providing a network or networks throughout the program so the current and future ocean leaders can engage closely with partners, collaborators, including not only scientists, but also private business, NGOs, what else? Artists, filmmakers, journalists, and etc. We welcome everyone who are identify yourself with the ocean-based careers, regardless if it's within the ocean sciences or not, and anyone that self-identifies as an early career a professional within 10 years or even more. Now, the current ECOP Global Program have now currently 5 regional nodes, including ourselves, the African node. We have also more than 50 national nodes. Some of them are affiliated to a regional node, some of them are not. We have 5 task teams, and at the moment, currently in the database from the Global Registry of the ECOP program, we have over 6,000 members registered, which is quite a lot. That's very good for a network, and we're very proud of it. And associated also with the ECOP program, Global Program, we have 11 DOSA projects. So how you can benefit from this network, the global network? Basically, the main deliverables that the ECOP program is trying to provide to our members is a platform where we can also enhance the professional careers in terms of training opportunities like a webinar series online, workshops, in-person workshops, also mentorship programs, and whenever possible, also provide a database of possible collaborators, partners, and funders. We also are in the process of providing this database of opportunities so everyone can easily access the opportunities available to enhance your career in ocean sciences through our webpage. Now, in terms of the African oceans, we are one of the richest continents of the world in terms of marine and ocean affairs. We have more than 30,000 kilometers of coastlines, never mind the area of the EEZs that we have. We are surrounded by 3 main oceans and 2 seas. It's not that for no reason that we are considered one of the global biodiversity hotspots and conservation hotspots due to our uniqueness in endemicity of species and marine diversity. Thus, our continent, the African continent, can provide a wide range of marine resources, ocean resources, and ecosystem services at a global scale. So the African oceans are basically very important and relevant for the African societies and communities, not only because the communities, but many communities, they are closely related to wetland or any aquatic system, because they depend highly on their livelihood and food security, but also to social development. And last but not least, sorry, we also identify ourselves very close with the ocean, as you can see through our culture, through music, our artwork, and also our interactions with the oceans, our identity, that we inherited that through the indigenous knowledge. And we also can see that very clearly through our religious influence as well. Although the African continent is very rich in ocean resources and biodiversity, in terms of ocean sciences, the African continent is a little bit behind the other regions of the world. That's why the ECOP program with the Ocean Decade are trying to address and empower the regions with the appropriate tools to enhance the ocean leaders in the continent, so that we can have a transformation towards ocean sciences, but also feeding on the Ocean Decade challenges. Currently, some of the challenges that we have in terms of Africa is because we don't have much accessibility or affordability to high-level qualification in ocean sciences. Also, we have limited access to research facilities and funding associated to ocean-related careers, and a scarce of in-house jobs and opportunities, so we can keep our generation of ocean leaders in a continent. With that in mind, that's when the ECOP Africa node was created, and we were with a vision to provide professional network opportunities for the African ECOPs, not only to engage in terms of the Ocean Decade, but also to provide them with a platform where they can easily reach out to opportunities to build out their careers and their qualifications for better opportunities in the future. So, thus, the aim of the ECOP Africa node is to foster ocean sustainability by creating capacities for African ECOPs through our network and active engagement. The main objectives of the African node is provide an inventory of these ocean leaders, our members from the African continent. Also provide an overview of the needs, the priorities, and the challenges that these ECOPs, the African ECOPs, are facing at the moment through situation assessments. And also focusing more closely into capacity development by mobilizing resources, implementation of activities, and ocean literacy by sharing educational and scientific awareness through a wide range of audience, not only to scientists, but also to teachers, educators, and youth and students. At the moment, our node is comprised by the coordination team, myself and my assistant, the steering committee, which is the sub-regional nodes, the test teams, and the thematics hubs, and the national node, the 11 national node and 6 emerging nodes. For the test teams, like I said, we have fundraising, communications, and media. And the hubs that will be launching this week, tomorrow, the first one will be capacity development, and on Wednesday, ocean literacy hubs. For the national nodes, we have 11 national nodes at the moment. And throughout the history of our node, we have basically implemented a platform of activities trying to engage closely with our African ECOPs. So since the endorsement in 2021, we have provided basically a structured organization of the node with the implementation of the sub-regional nodes, the task teams, and the appointment of the first coordinator, Gabriel Juma, who's going to be also speaking today for us. In 2023, then became the second coordinator was appointed, Anthony Nadal. And in the same year, we have a lot of achievements as well with the launch of the ocean literacy testing at the time. And then the first national nodes were also launched: Morocco, Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Togo, Liberia, Cameroon, Kenya, Ghana, Mozambique, and finally, more recently, Benin. Then this year, a new coordinator myself was appointed, and now we are launching the 2 hubs and also the ECOP Africa newsletter. So just to provide an overview of the network in our African continents, we have, according to our global database for the ECOP program, we have over 1,424 members in Africa, or African-based members. And these members are originally from 49 different countries in Africa, which is quite a rich node, and meaning that the African node is one of the biggest regional nodes within the ECOP program. Now, in terms of node affiliation, we can see that some of the African members registered at 94%, 94.5% of them are affiliated exclusively to our node, our African node. Some of them are affiliated with more than one node or a country node. For example, ECOP African in Europe, 2.7%, ECOP African in Asia, 1.2%, and then the others, which is a summary of Africa with Central America, or Africa and South America, New Zealand, Australia, or Canada, totalize 1.6% of these African members. The interesting thing about discussing these node affiliations is that we can see that some of the members that providing out in the registration, during the registration, this data that they are affiliated to other nodes because either they are working or studying abroad, or we have foreign nationals in Africa working in ocean-based careers here. Now, in terms of node-specific membership, we have 63.2% of these 1,424 members associated to a national node that has been officially launched through our program, which means the 11 nodes. Now we have 36.8% of the members non-associated to any national node, which represent basically 38 African countries. This is a lot of countries still with no national nodes implemented or established. So we are calling all these countries to become part of our program. Please reach out to me or my team anytime and we can discuss this further. Now, in terms of country-specific membership, we have very interesting data here. According to our latest database, is that if we set up a criteria of the countries, the African countries, with the number of registered members above 10, which means 11 onwards, we're gonna have 22 countries, African countries, within this criteria. So the top one would be Nigeria. Well done, Nigeria. 16.4% of the members in our database come from Nigeria, followed by Kenya with 14.2%, Ghana 10%, South Africa 8.8%, then Mozambique with 6%, Tanzania with 4.8%, Cameroon with 3.9%, Senegal 3.2%, Morocco 2.9%, Tunisia 2.8%, Liberia 2.6%, Somalia 2.3%, Egypt and Namibia both with 2.2%, Cape Verde 1.9%, Benin 1.8%, Togo 1.5%, Algeria 1.2%, together with Madagascar, Seychelles 0.9%, Mauritius 0.8%, and Nigeria as well. So they summarize basically 92.6% of the members registered in our database, these 22 countries. And interesting to know of this data is that some of these countries are not yet our established node. And it's also that some of these countries are not coastal countries, which is quite interesting. And we would like to engage more closely with non-coastal countries from Africa in the program due to a variety of reasons, including that we have at the moment, we have a very recent discussion surrounding the preparation of plans towards blue economy, which includes them. So that would be nice to engage with non-coastal countries as well, and also improve the numbers of the current and new members associated to our network. Now, in terms of the demographic information, we have the survey implemented in 2022-2023 by our previous coordinators, Gabriel and Anthony, where they highlight some of the demographics of the members of our network. Basically, it's almost like 50%, 50% on gender information, with females a little bit lower, 45.2%, and males 54.8%. And another interesting data of this survey is about the age distribution of our members. 46% range between 21 to 30 years old, 35% between 31 to 40 years old. And above 40, we also have within 19%. This is a quite interesting age distribution, because then we can see that the ECOP program is not addressed only to youth. The ECOP program is targeting the professionals that identify themselves at early in their career, regardless of their age, regardless of their sex as well. So the same survey applying 2023, published in 2023, also highlight the highest degree of our members of our network. And according to this survey, 76% of the participants of the survey said that they have a post-graduation degree. 23% says that they own honors or diploma, and only 1% said that they just hold a high school degree. But that indicates the high literacy of our members, even though the survey only reached out to just below 200 participants and respondents. Is a good indicative that the members of our network is highly literate, and we should engage more closely with deep discussions around the ocean decade. In terms of professional sectors, we have also, according to the same survey, the scientific or academic sector represented 49% of the members, followed by government, 24.5%, and then NGO with almost 12%, private business with 5%, and students associations with 2%. Also a very good indicative of the high literacy and diversity scenarios and sectors engaged with the program in the African continent. Now, one of the main deliverables of our program is to provide surveys at the regional and national levels, but also contribute to important documents prepared not only by the UNESCO and also any other discussions surrounding ocean sustainability. For example, the Ocean Decade Africa Roadmap, where the ECOP program Africa Node have contributed and engaged with them during the discussions around this document. The survey that I just mentioned, 2023, the capacity development workshop undertaken and discussed between our members and other members from the global network as well, and more recently our database, the network for the African network, the registry for the African network, have contributed to the most recent global survey report of the ECOP program, highlighting some specific needs, especially in terms of capacity development. We also provide training at the national and regional level. We have partnered with different collaborators throughout the years, including the GOGMI, who's going to be speaking tomorrow. It's one of our partners. It's the Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute. They're going to also speak more about the Blue Mentorship Program that they run together in partnership with us. This Blue Mentorship Program was focusing on workshops related to blue economy. And then we have Kenya and Mozambique as an example, provide webinars for national members to address discussions surrounding ocean innovation, but also entrepreneurship, sustainable entrepreneurship. And more recently, the Global Program also launched the first in-person workshop together with Aqua Biotech Group, Introduction to Oceanographic Survey Techniques and Data Management, which were held just last month. And we have ECOP Africa members participating on that. Now, in terms of the challenges, the ECOP Africa node, even though we are a very diverse and big, one of the biggest nodes of the ECOP program, we still have some challenges that we need to try to address in the few years. One of them is that we realize that some national nodes are still working very independently and isolated. We need to try to motivate them to interact with themselves so we can share more openly the best practices and the challenges and solutions, because some solutions related to the ECOP program. Another aspect that we can observe for the node is that the activities that we provide is not very consistent throughout the years. So perhaps we should start to establish some activities that's consistent to the year so our member can expect and diarize those events more consistently until the end of the UN Ocean Decade in the program. But unfortunately, that also depends on the availability and the time and expertise of the core team, because all of them are working on a volunteer basis. And also one of the aspects that I would like to raise is that we have a weak participation of the regional, the African partners and potential collaboration. We need to enrich that side of the ECOP program, the network, build this network of partners and possible sponsors where we can provide the most out of it with a toolkit of activities and guidelines for the ocean leaders of the continent, and enhance the collaboration and sharing of resources between them. And finally, I would like to highlight is that the national coordinators and most of the basically the coordinators for the capacity development hub, the ocean literacy hub, all the main coordinators, fundraising, media, and communications, they are all working on a volunteer basis. And that meaning that our activities basically depend on the availability of time, efforts, and passion towards the program, which we believe that they do. We just need to motivate them and recognize that they need to get some sort of support, financial support as well. Now, in terms of the priorities, although the 2023 survey highlights some of the capacity development priorities, we need to get a more in-depth understanding of the regional needs and priorities in terms of the network, capacity development, ocean literacy, and fundraising. That's we're going to try to start during this event this week, but also we intend to extend this survey throughout next year. So new questions and new discussions and preparation of workshops surrounding that, so we can understand, for example, what are the needs of the capacity in terms of capacity building, what field of ocean sciences our members would like to get the activities addressed to. Is climate change, is marine biodiversity monitoring, or is it AI applied to ocean science, for example? Ocean literacy also, what are the needs in terms of the school? Do they need the blue curriculum established for them, or guidelines on where they can find resources, or how they can engage with ocean literacy, or how they can hear about it, or how they can access videos to share in their school, etc., etc. And same in terms of funds and opportunities, we need to understand from our members what exactly they would like to see that the ECOP program would provide for you as a benefit for you, our member. Is grants, it's awards in terms of thesis awards or project awards or project research support, lab supplies, grants that can apply to lab supplies, and so on. So we need more specific clarifications. What are the needs of the ECOPs in Africa? So with that in mind, we have a few planning activities. I just highlighting a few one here related to what brought to you throughout this talk. So basically, we need to increase the rate of our membership. Please motivate your friends and colleagues to become part of our network, increasing the number and the representation of the members of your country, regardless if it's an official node or not. You're welcome to become a part of the regional African node. And also to increase like I said, the participation and the representation of non-coastal countries. This is imperative to enhance the professional skills for all, regardless where they're located in the continent, and if they are closely related to the ocean. Now, we have to implement the regional consultation to understand these priorities, like I said, and also to map available resources of in terms of ocean sciences, especially to provide professional growth and exchange for our members within Africa, not only providing opportunities for them to go abroad, but also mapping these resources that are available in our continent, not internationally. Now, more importantly, also is to try to find a way where we can implement a strategic plan for the next 5 years of the program, where we can have clear indicators of the activities in terms of the subjects that we need to address according to our survey, and also to provide the guidelines of the coordinated activities and interaction between the national nodes and the regional nodes and hubs and test teams. Now, the fun part, if you want to join us, only 3 quick steps, please. First, register in our database. Go to our ECOP webpage. There, you're going to find a link to register in our database, and automatically you're going to be receiving our monthly newsletter, the ECOP Global Newsletter. And from Friday, every month from Friday, we're going to now also share with the ECOP Africa members the ECOP Africa newsletter. If you want to become a part of the core team, or you want to establish your node, you can also find information on our webpage for the African node. Please access there. And also you are welcome to email me anytime for more information. We can set up meetings and discuss this more closely. And finally, follow us on social media. Now, if you want to support us of any kinds, becomes not only becoming a member, but contributing to the activities surrounding and within our node, you can become a partner. This can be, you can represent your organization, your business, your government. Whoever is interested to become a partner, please reach out to us so we can discuss potential synergies between our program addressed to African members. You can also sponsor one of our activities. For example, you can sponsor event organizations. You can event attendance in Africa or abroad or in-house. Also, in kind of support, such as printing materials for your national nodes or the regional activities, or provide ad hoc advice of any kind. Please reach out to us. We are very open to everyone who wants to become part of our network. You're very welcome to do so. That's it. Thank you so much. That was very, very good for starts. And I will just call my assistant to now carry on with the Q&A sessions if you do have questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sarah, for your detailed discussions about the ECOP program. So we'll move forward to the Q&A. If you have any Q&A, kindly indicate by the raise of your hand or typing it in the chat box. and I'll call on you.
Anyone? Anyone have any questions? Please raise your hand if you want.
Okay, we have one question here. Please, can you run through being a core member for someone living in Lagos, Nigeria?
So you can reach out. So the first step for that, what's your name, Stephanie, right? Hi, Stephanie. So you can reach out firstly to the national coordinator from Nigeria, who is here, Anthony Akpan. You can also email him or CC me, and I can put you guys in touch to discuss this further. And then we can see where you can contribute to the core team in the activities.
Okay, thank you. We have a question from Miriam asking, do we have a node in Tanzania?
No, at the moment we don't have a node in Tanzania. And as you could see through the survey and the database, results, Tanzania is one of the biggest countries contribute to our network. So it would be quite nice to see a node implemented there.
Okay. Okay. So Ayodele is asking, I missed on the part on node registration. Could you clarify that part?
The no registration, so you can go to our webpage, the ECOP program webpage, or either one of the regional nodes. We always provide the first link for the registration, the global database for the ECOP program. That you're gonna fill in a little form, and then you're gonna submit this form, and that's automatically gonna make you part of our network as a member. So you're gonna receive the newsletter monthly from the global program. But now from Friday, you also will receive the newsletter for the African node with specific opportunities or highlighting activities that our node, all our members have done in the continent.
Yeah. Moving on. So Linda is asking, are we also open to receiving membership from representatives from other regional nodes that's outside Africa?
Yes, of course. We are open to anyone.
Marianne is asking, how do you fund research in the area of ocean ecosociology?
Who done this question?
Marianne.
Marianne. So ecosociology, I'm not familiar with the field of work, but we can put you in touch with the experts with the database that we have. So if you want to reach out to fund related to ecosociology, you can specifically send me an email or to the fundraising team to see if they also can come across with an opportunity related to that.
Okay. Thank you. So we have Mawa asking, what are the steps involved in establishing an ECOP node in Egypt?
So for the establishment of a new node, it works like that. We first have our first inception meeting, which is usually it's myself, the global coordinator, and the team that you're trying to build for your country. We discuss and clarify a few things in terms of the documents required and the structure of the nodes that you need. also clarify anything in terms what was written in our ocean ECOP handbook that you can access in our page as well. You can download for free, and there is a session where you can see some of the steps that you need to undertake towards establishing your node. But once you do those steps and we have our inception meeting, after that, what we're gonna require is a draft of a conception note. You need a conception note to be written to address your local needs. For example, in this case, for Egypt. And then we discuss together with you, make suggestions, what else we should include, what type of organizational structure you should have for your node, depending of course, the core members that are willing to participate of the node. And then we review these documents. And after the review of these documents, if everything is approved by myself and the global coordinator, then we're going to work towards the launch of your node in the web page. And that's when you become the official node for that country.
Okay. So
I think
Mogaka
we
is
have one more
asking,
question only, the final question.
I think we still have a couple of questions. So just
Yeah.
try to run through that. So are there supports to organize local ECOP forums in local levels?
So at the moment, the national nodes are at a volunteer basis. So all the activities that they conduct, it's at a volunteer basis. We don't have any financial support for that, unfortunately. But we are open for sponsors to support either at the national levels or at the regional levels at any kind. You can reach out to us and we can discuss this further.
Okay, so Paul is asking for clarity on the mentorship program.
Yes. What's the question? Sorry, Shamaka.
Uh, he's asking, you mentioned about the mentorship program, so can you talk more about that?
Oh, yes. So the mentorship program is part of, at the moment, it's part of the global eco program, where they can provide you with directions of who you should contact in terms of the subjects that you would like to undertake your studies or your project. And we can connect you with this expert according to the database that we have. So we cannot share that openly, but if you do reach out to us, we can provide with that. But also, the ECOP program from time to time provide webinars related to mentoring in certain topics. So it depends on in your field, in your, the field of your interest, you gonna have these webinars available as a mentoring program. Yeah.
Okay, so subsequent question is still asking about node registrations, if we have nodes for Senegal and Cabo Verde, and information about establishing the node.
Yeah, so I think what we can do here is to paste the handbook. Maybe Natalie, could you maybe put that if you didn't already? Just share the handbook, ECOP handbook, and everyone can go through the handbook and read it step by step for the establishment of the new node. But like I said, the first thing that we indicate is to go through this handbook to understand the structure and the aims of the program, and also we provide a few suggestions on how we can create your concept notes. Once the concept note draft, the first draft is finalized, then we can set up an inception meeting between myself and the global coordinator. We can go through the concept note with you and your team for the future node. And then we discuss revise it, we discuss a few things that you can improve. And then you go back and you work on your second draft of your concept note. Once you're finalized, you go back to us. We review the final review, and then we go back to you saying, all right, now you approved or not to become a node. And that's gonna depend on the activities that you're gonna provide for the members of your country, especially. and if it also aligns with the mains and vision and objectives of the ECOP program.
Okay, so is there a node for India? Yes, there's a node for India.
Yeah.
But not within ECOP Africa. Um, we have asking if there is a branch or office in Ghana for ECOP programs.
In Ghana, we do have a official node. Yes, you can reach out to the Ghana node in our webpage.
Yeah. For
I think we need to finalize Chiamaka because now it's going over the time. We need to.
yeah.
All right. Okay. If you have any questions, you're welcome to drop your question here in the chat, and we can try to go back to you later on during the event. But you're gonna have the opportunity to raise other questions later throughout the week. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. So
Yeah. Yeah, Chiamaka.
so move on to the next agenda, which is a fundraising campaign. So I would like to call on Adiza to take this part.
Is Adiza here? Adiza or Linda? No. All right. So just to
Linda
emphasize the
is
campaign.
here.
Yes.
Linda is here. Well, okay. Hi, Linda. Okay.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi, Linda, you there?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, but can you speak up a little?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you speak up a little?
Okay. Is it better?
Okay.
I
Yeah,
thought.
hopefully.
Okay.
So can you take us through the fundraising campaign?
Okay. Just hold on. Let me just get my slides. Do I have permissions to share?
Should.
It's already on the screen, Linda. It's just a campaign.
Okay. All right.
I can go ahead with that because we are running
Okay.
a little bit late, and we can proceed later on with you. Okay, thank you. All right, so just to emphasize how you can support us, like I said, you can support our ECOP Africa node with like an in-kind support, like facilities, access, rent, ad hoc advice, catering, printing materials. You can become a partner by providing interdisciplinary projects with us and our members, but also submitting grant proposal, joint grant proposal, information sharing on opportunities. And as a sponsor, you can also support, especially our coordinators with the honorarium, event organization, attendance, grant or award support, and training implementation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So still back to you, preliminary consultation.
All right. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Now we're gonna then implement the preliminary survey with the questions in mind of improving the activities of the African node, right? We only have 5 to 6 questions each day. This pool is gonna be show simultaneously so we can discuss with each one of you at the end of the survey. And I think it's going to be quite exciting to see the answers, especially from our members. All right, so let's start here. Launch the pool. Let me know if you all can see the survey.
Yes, Sarah.
Yes, thumbs up. All right, so we have 5 questions. I'm gonna give you for each question, we're gonna go through it, and we're gonna I'm gonna give you like 2 minutes for each question, so the members can vote, and then at the end we can discuss more closely the results. All right, so for the first question that we have, it's why are you interested in participating of our ECOP Africa Node network? Option 1 would be it's easier to keep up with available and current professional opportunities such as jobs, fellowships, grants, and training opportunities, paid internships, for example. Option B would be it's a platform to engage more effectively with the UN OSHA decade. Letter C would be it's easier to find possible collaborators and partners in scientific projects, grant proposals, development, and other opportunities. Or if you have another option, please choose other and you can discuss later on. So I'm gonna give you a few minutes, 2 minutes to answer this first question, please. Please, can everybody see the poll and answer the question? We have over 70 participants here. Please, I would like you to contribute to the survey. That's very important for us to improve our activities as a regional node. All right, so for this first question, it seems that letter B, to engage more effectively with the UN Ocean Decade is but let's see if that scenario changes in 1 minute. Okay, let's move on to the second question. We can go back to the answers at the end of the poll. So the second question is, what's your main topic of interest within our node? You would like to hear more about ocean literacy for youth and relevant actors, such as educators, teachers, launched programs and projects, local NGOs, and government officials. Or you would like to hear more about capacity development opportunities to upskill your professional goals. And then the third option would be the UN, the Ocean Decade, and other international commitments, such as the Global Biodiversity Frameworks, Paris Agreement, and so on. Or you can also choose other. So what's the main topic that you would like to see within our node? Ocean literacy, capacity development, or international commitments related to ocean sustainability and biodiversity conservation? Let's give 2 minutes also to answer this question, the second question. All right, let's move on to the third question. The third question would be, how would you like to benefit more efficiently from our node activities? What you would like to see that our node promote as a node for the members is to be an attendee of our free activities, such as the ones that we already provide as webinars and workshops, to be a contributor to important documents and reports related to the themes surrounding the decades. For example, the African roadmap that we done in 2022 is an example. We have been engaging on the documents such as the deep sea mining more recently. So you can also become part of the discussions that are not only promoted by the ECOP program, but other networks or other projects and programs outside the ECOP program, but also surrounding ocean sustainability. Finally, another option would be connect big scientific institutions in the private sector for advice in ocean-related career planning and progression within the African context. So what you would really like to benefit from, to be an attendee of activities, a contributor, or connect more closely with scientific institutions and private sectors. Let's give 2 minutes also. It seems for this question, everyone wants to connect more with the private sector and the institution, the scientific institutions. It is very good. We're gonna go back to the answers just now. All right, let's move on to the fourth question. In your opinion, what should be the priority number one for the ECOP Africa node in 2025, next year? They're relevant to professional deliverables for its members. So priority number one, provide scientific activities such as webinar, online workshops more frequently and throughout the whole year at the regional, but also at the national levels. The second option would be organize an annual regional symposium for the ECOP Africa node, aiming to highlight the study projects and groundbreaking private and public initiatives towards different ocean-related themes. For example, ocean innovation, climate change adaptation, and biodiversity conservation. The third option that could be the priority number one for next year would be prepare and provide education and training materials freely available for all members and interested stakeholders. So this is a very, very important question, so we can direct our activities and action plan for 2025 to try to feed these needs here that we can see. So priority number one again would be provide scientific activities more frequently, organize an annual regional symposium highlighting the study projects and groundbreaking initiatives within the African continent, or prepare and provide free educational and training materials. That's question number 5. Let's give 1 minute, please. And finally, question number 5, in your opinion, what should be the priority number 1 for the ECOP African node in 2025 relevant to networking, right? Not only professional, here it's not professional deliverables, it's just networking of the members. So the first option would be establishing new nodes, specifically in non-coastal country and small islands, states. Option number 2 would be create new hubs and testing, such as indigenous knowledge and science to policy interface. And And answer option number 3 would be provide an interactive ocean stakeholder mapping initiative for the African continent. So what you want to see as priority number 1 for next year in terms of networking, establish new nodes, create new hubs and test teams, or provide a stakeholder mapping initiative for the African continent. This map would be basically to map all available scientific institutions in the country, for example, universities, research institutions, labs, private labs available in the continent. Also, initiatives like NGOs, private business related to blue economy, ocean innovation, climate change adaptation, and so on. So what is a priority for networking that we should focus next year? 1 minute, please. All right, so just to remind the other members, we have 65%, 66% of the participants or the attendee participant on the survey. Please answer to your questions. I'm gonna give you 2 more minutes just to finalize the survey silently, selecting your answer. This is highly important for us to understand your specific needs and what you would like as a member of the network to see in the ECOP Africa node. All right, so let's check now. Let's end the survey and display the results of each of those questions and debate a little bit. If you do have a specific topic to bring up to the table or to provide a suggestion opinion, please raise your hand after the results here. Okay, I'm gonna finalize now, right? Share results. All right, so let's see the results now. So we have 81% of the attendees participate in the survey. Thank you so much for those who answered. This is very, very valuable for us. So for question number 1, why are you interested in participating of our network in the Africa node? Basically, I think we have a technical process here, which will be the first, it's easy to keep up with available included professional networks, 33%, but also engage with area and ocean decade as the main answers, which is quite nice. We have others also 2%. Anyone would like to comment on this first question for others? Please raise your hand. Don't be shy, you can speak up. No? All right. Question number 2, what's your main topic of interest in our node? That will be also, I think, a technical problem here in terms of ocean literacy and capacity development. Everybody wants to hear about that, which is great. This is great to see. And I think we are in the right path by launching these 2 hubs during this week. And it's very, very exciting. Question number 3, how would you like to benefit from our node activities? We have option number third option, connect with scientific institutions and the private sector as the priority, as the benefit that you would like to see in our nodes, which is great. We're going to try to do that by partnering with new institutions and sponsors within the hubs that we're going to launch this week. Now for the fourth question, in your opinion, what should be the priority number one in terms of professional deliverables? We have 49% saying that the annual regional symposium should be implemented. That's so great. I'm surprised with that. That's very good. I'm happy. And we will definitely try to do that and implement, but to also need support from sponsors and collaborators. Please reach out to us. You see here that our members really want to show what they are developing, the new ideas and the new projects that they are conducting at the moment. That's very, very, very exciting. And finally, the final question would be then, what's the priority number one in terms of networking? We have a technical problem here too. Exactly 41% for each of those less options. Two less options will be create new hubs and test teams. Great. And provide a stakeholder mapping, which is also great. So we're gonna put into that in our efforts for next year, and hopefully we're gonna achieve each one of those priorities. Especially, thank you so much for answering this question. That was very, very nice. All right, now we can come back to the program. So let me just see here if I finish everything. Yeah.
Yeah, we have the next presentation. So I think you need to introduce the speakers.
Okay, cool. So now we're gonna have a session highlighting the ECOP Africa node by our two main coordinators. Our former coordinator, Gabriel Juma, is gonna start. Please, Gabriel, welcome to our first annual Ocean Fair. Thank you so much for your availability and your expertise with this initiative. Thank you so much, Gabriel.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. I'm happy to be here and to share with you my insights. Once again, congratulations for organizing such an informative session and for the work you've done so far. It's really amazing. And to all the coordination team as well as the members for their contribution. I have a small presentation which I'll share with you. I'll just share the screen. To get it to, yeah. So, yeah, I just wanted to give insights on the far we came and, join it to the great initiatives that you're currently carrying on and just give like a story of the beginnings regarding ECOP Africa, where we got it from the ground. So basically, ECOP Africa in the decade of ocean science, when the decade started, that is in 2021, we wanted to join up and all contribute, on the ocean decade outcomes, where we have the 7 outcomes, which I know most of us are familiar with, including a clean ocean, healthy, resilient ocean, productive, predicted, a safe ocean, accessible, and one that, is inspiring and engaging. And the ECOP global program had been established, as you mentioned, and from this we had different needs and priorities that we then wanted to have as Africans, or we already had as African ECOPs, and to be able to achieve these, we established the ECOP Africa in 2021 with a vision to have an inclusive, empowered ECOPs for sustainable ocean during and beyond the decade. And with this, we would then have needs and priorities addressed because we had differences in regional capacities. If we look at the global north, global south, different continents, then focusing more on what would address our needs was important, and therefore it facilitated the initiation of this node. And also we wanted to identify at the beginning the different roles of ECOPs in the decade, some of which we have on the website, some have been discussed, so I'm just going to briefly go through them, including contributing to scientific research and data generation. We know that a big group of ECOPs, especially in Africa, we have a young population of young generation that are into science and research, and through this they would generate data and different research-related activities. Also, supporting ocean literacy by developing resources and tools, as mentioned, enhancing behavioral change by fostering responsible citizenry. So in this case, we have different ECOPs in different regions who organize activities, for example, cleanups. And when other ocean enthusiasts, so the general citizens, see what we do, then through this, they're able to enhance, cleaning of our environment and ensuring sustainability of the oceans. Also, another role that we identified to be important from the ECOP's perspective was science communication and dissemination of information. We realized that the young population is highly engaged in social networks, be it LinkedIn, Instagram, and other social pages. And through these, our activities would then be disseminated and people would get a glimpse of what we are talking about within the ocean decade. Of course, as mentioned, we do mobilize resources, both with regards to monetary and also in-kind support by sharing our expertise. And in all these activities, we enhanced to bridge the information gaps and knowledge transfer between generations within and beyond the decade. So I'm not going to go much through this. We have it on the website, and it has also been mentioned by our coordinator. But these are our strategic objectives that we designed or we developed to be able to achieve the goals that we had. I'll just dive into implementation of the activities. So as mentioned, we had our past survey. This just followed the side event that we had following the big conference that was taking place in Egypt, that is the priority needs and establishment of the ocean decade in Africa. After that, I think January 2022, December, January 2022, we had this survey where we had not very many respondents compared to the numbers we have now on the page. But with this, we wanted to understand the needs and priorities and also challenges so that we know where we are starting from. We had 228 participants from 87 countries. Already 82 ECOP networks were identified. Some actively participating, others were not very active. But from what we see at the beginning, when we compare to the demographics that was shared today, they were not as much as you can see, because most of our respondents are from Kenya, Ghana, and Nigeria, South Africa. And you can see some of the brown patches on the map. This shows that at the start, the numbers were few, not very many countries were already involved, but with time, we've grown over time, which is a positive thing, and we are happy to note that. And regarding the surveys still, we identified challenges and opportunities. And on the challenge, you can see we had gender inequalities, lack of or inadequate training opportunities. By that time, we had no sub-regional nodes. We understand that Africa itself is quite wide still. And sometimes these differences in geographical aspects and cultural diversity that's involved in it. So we needed these sub-regional nodes. In 2021, 2022, we all understand that we had the ECOP COVID-19 pandemic, inadequate funding, low salary, inadequate or difficulty in finding job, especially in ocean sciences. So all these are some of the challenges that ECOPs raised and that we needed mechanisms through which we could at least address them to be able to achieve our goals or the strategic objectives that we had outlined. And Despite these challenges, ECOPs also mentioned that they, actively participated and contributed to the achievement of the Ocean Decade, given the activities that they were carrying out then and that they were also intending to, carry forward with. So this gave us the momentum to outline some of the activities which could address these challenges. And with that, we reached out to partners. We started reaching out to different partners that we could work with to see our goals, being achieved, including WIAMSA, this Western Indian Ocean Marine Science Association. We have IOC UNESCO, who has been very supportive and with which most activities of the ECOP program are aligned. We had Ocean Teacher Global Academy. I'll give more information about that tomorrow. And apart from the bigger organization or bigger institutions, we also have ECOP networks that we started with. Some we have continued our engagement with them. For example, West Indian Ocean Early Career Scientist Network, BlueMed Ambassadors. So these networks also supported, the establishment of some activities, and through this we were able to carry on with the processes. And with regards to ocean literacy and storytelling component, in April 2022, we had the Ocean Literacy Contest in collaboration with Ocean Literacy Task Team, that is for the general program, and we received over 100 entries in different categories, including poetry, artwork, photography. And on this side, you can just see some of the submissions that were made for the different categories during the contest. So through this, we would be able to, communicate and disseminate our feelings, intentions, and love and passion for the ocean in different ways, including photography, artwork, drawings, poetry, and it was fascinating, I can say. Apart from that, we got into the capacity development programs and activities in May and June 2022. And during this time, we had sponsored training, thanks to NORAD funding from Norway through the ECOP program, the Global ECOP program, and then this was supporting Africa. So we had a training on exploring pathways to a vibrant ocean economy given by Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute. And another training was given by IOI on basic concepts of ocean governance for ECOP. So these were sponsored training, but they were not enough. So also to bridge the gap, because as you saw in the challenges in the survey results, inadequate training was one of the aspects that was raised as a challenge. So to be able to bridge this, we had our first training, a project which we coiled up, and we termed it as Bridging the Knowledge Gap for Early Career Ocean Professionals in Africa, BRIGARE project, in which we had our first ocean color remote sensing and data analysis training. And this was very successful thanks to our South African coordinator, Eligio, who supported this together with Dr. Deepika, Anthony, and there were some of the teachers who started and really gave us support in this project. And with this, although we had our target group for Africa, but we had applications from all over the world. And therefore, we realized that the knowledge gap or the training component was only not needed in Africa, but in other parts. And this gave birth to the Blue Card project, which I'll give more insights tomorrow. But one thing that I wanted to note is the training component of this capacity development project. The idea was coiled from ECOP Africa, through which it bloomed, and we were able to give this, as Sarah mentioned, that now we are carrying on with this globally. Also, we had establishment of regional nodes, sub-regional nodes, that is. We had the discussions starting, the North Africa, East African sub-regional node, South and West Africa. And through this, then we were able to address capacity needs in different regions. And also, we as Sarah already mentioned, we had the Ocean Decade Roadmap developed. This was developed in collaboration with the WIOSN, so Western Indian Ocean Early Career Scientists Network. It was also supported by WIAMSA as well as IOC Africa. And we had the launch during the WIAMSA conference in South Africa. So we already had the survey to give us, an outline on the needs and priorities. And also in collaboration with IOC Africa, we developed this booklet to give the general roadmap on what or how we could proceed in addressing the different Ocean Decade challenges, as well as realizing the decade outcomes. And then through this, we had the necessary tools we required to be able to carry the decade forward within the African continent. Everything is challenges and opportunities, and to sum it up, opportunities that made us do all those, or our strength, that made us do all those within that year. One, we tapped into the expertise of ECOPs in Africa. We have great, enthusiastic ECOPs in the African continent. And as I mentioned, Africa as a continent has a bigger population of young people who were really enthusiastic. And at times we talk of inadequate funding, but looking deep, we were able to realize that we have got expertise who are able to, or happy to volunteer and share their expertise. And through that, we were able to implement some of the activities. Also, networking and collaborating with existing institutions helped us a lot, as I mentioned, WIAMSA and, other Mohammed VI Foundation from South Africa. We had GOGMI and other organizations who have supported the process. And then the last point, understanding the needs and priorities and establishing a strategic plan. So this also helps a lot from the surveys, from discussions that we have with the ECOPs themselves, and also, induction or introduction webinars. Through this, we were able to get the needs and priorities and to tap onto how we could properly address them. With that, we also had challenges, which I'm happy to see some of them the team has been able to work through. There were inadequate resources that is still there because in most cases, there's a lot of dependency on volunteers. And then there is also turnover because at points people move to other positions, then yeah. So this sometimes the challenge on sustainability on some of the activities, but we are happy, and I'm happy to see that everything is going on well. And there's been establishment of various national nodes. We also had challenges in establishing some collaborations. And in this aspect, ECOP was coming on board strongly. But of course, even before the establishment of ECOP, there were existing networks. So we at least managed to define our scope, activities, and objectives. But at some point, you could see that, is this organization coming to overtake us or something? So such at least derailed some processes with regards to establishing collaborations. But all this was streamlined because we were able to, put clearly our strategic objectives. And again, Africa is wide, so the geographical and cultural diversity could sometimes be a challenge in that, in some regions, you could be talking of a regional node having one main language. But in Africa, even if you were to have a training, in most cases, we encourage English, but then French as well, or other the regions where we could have other languages. Not only language, but we, of course, bring diversity and translate it into a positive thing. But sometimes we understand that it can be a challenge with the geographical aspects, especially if we have to even organize in-person activities, then traveling is sometimes a challenge or a problem. All in all, we, worked through it and it went well. And the cultural diversity is still there. For example, it's in Africa where jollof in Ghana might be different from jollof in Nigeria, but then that is just a part of it. So with all that, I'm happy to see that there is progress, and we still, promise our support to the ECOP Africa program. And congratulations to the coordinating team and to everyone who supports the process. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gabriel. Thank you. was a very good presentation, just overall of the ECOP program in the beginning, because Gabriel was really the founder, together with Virginia and the other team members from the ECOP program, all the ECOP Africa nodes. So we have this blessed opportunity here to engage with Gabriel. Thank you so much, Gabriel. Chiamaka?
Yeah, so we'll have a 2-minute Q&A for Gabriel. Let's try to put it in the Q&A section rather than the chat box so we could keep track. So indicate your questions if you have any, and I'll get to them.
Anyone? Don't be shy.
Can you turn on the Q&A? It seems it's turned off.
I think Gabriel just need to stop sharing. Gabriel, please. There you go. Thank you. All right.
Okay, I think you can try sending in your questions again.
I have a question for Gabriel, just so we can carry on a little bit. Gabriel, in your opinion, what are the recommendations that you have for a new student or professional in Africa? They are based in Africa towards their career pathway. What are the recommendations that you would give to them so they can reach out to their dream to become either a sonographer or educator in ocean related subjects? That would be quite good to get them motivated to hear from you.
Oh, good question. I cannot give a conclusive answer. Let me give that a disclaimer. But I think one thing to help identifying or going through a certain career trajectory, one would be to consult around, one, identify what the person likes, what they're really passionate about. And because this helps, there are moments that every career that we take has challenges and difficulties, but then if we identify what we really like, then this passion component of it might keep us going. And then number two, discuss with mentors or people around us on what we would expect, or reaching out and networking. This is also another important element to consider. So it could be the supervisors at bachelor's level, at master's level, or people who also you see are in this field. One, they could help you in identifying opportunities, and another one, they can also help the student in, informing with regards to the challenges they could meet and how they can go about it. And then number three, another thing that would be important in identifying and following a career path would be looking out for the opportunities and really going for them. So sometimes, I know in my first point I mentioned that you identify what you're passionate about, but sometimes what you're passionate about is not what is available. So look through what is available and then also just tap onto it. If an opportunity comes up, then you can use what you have to also find what you don't have. So sometimes going for what is there and what is available, using that opportunity. Then later on, you can change a path if you realize, oh, this is not what I wanted. And then again, Another thing, some people might be afraid that, you know, I did a bachelor's in this and this is not what I don't want, this is not what I want. It's okay, and you can change the path at some point. Always in life, we learn from mistakes and we go through and always identify our path. What is most important is good health and life, and then we can always achieve our goals if we want to. I think I answered it.
Great, that was a great answer. Thank you so much, Gabriel. I see one hand raised here. Chamaka?
Yeah, Baker, do you have a question? Baker, are you there? I don't think the person is available, so maybe we could move on.
All right. So, all right, let's move on. Okay, let's go back to our program here. Just a minute. All right, so now I would like to invite you all to hear from our Global ECOP Coordinator, Virginia Constantianaya. Please, Virginia, come and join us in our event and talk about the ECOP program and our experience with the African Node. Thank you so much and welcome. Thank you so much for your availability.
Hi everyone, and so nice to be here today. I think this is a really great event, and thank you, Sarah, and all the teams for coordinating and preparing this. I'll just share my presentation here now. Can you see it okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just trying to make it full screen now. Right, okay. Hello again, everyone. It's really an honor to be at this meeting today. So I will be speaking about the ECOP program globally, and especially about the highlights of the ECOP Africa node in our global activities. So as you know, we were endorsed in 2021, so it's already 3.5 years that we are an official UN Ocean Decade endorsed program. And this is really a very unique opportunity to be inside the UN Ocean Decade and to participate in that, because it creates a lot of connecting opportunities and networking opportunities with other endorsed programs, contributions, projects, and activities. So the UN Ocean Decade is really a mechanism that connects people and programs and institutions together to solve some of the biggest marine challenges that we have. So here is again, you have heard this from Sarah and also partly from Gabriel. So just again, a summary that it stays with you. So we have more than 6,000 members now in our global database. We started with almost 300 members in 2021, and now we have over 6,000. So when I started in this role right after our endorsement in 2021, Africa was one of the first nodes that we wanted to officially set up and develop together with Asia. So this is the time when Gabriel came on board as the first Africa node coordinator, and Rafael, our Asia node coordinator. So we decided to first focus on Africa and Asia because of, the many ECOPs that are there, the many challenges that are there. So there was a deliberate decision to focus on those two big regions. So as you know already, in Africa, we have 11 established nodes with a few others in the making. So teams are already working on concept nodes. And again, very fast in 2022, 2023, we had this first batch of 5 nodes being set up. So that was really a clear indication that there was a lot of interest in the region to be officially endorsed as a node under the ECOP program. So we also have task teams. So we have 5 task teams: ocean literacy, training and mentoring, diversity, equity and inclusivity, and private industry and ocean bridges. And the one on deep ocean is coming soon, either before the end of this year or early in January. So the first 4, again, they were at the beginning of the program. So ocean literacy, training and mentoring, diversity, equity, inclusivity, and ocean bridges. And then private industry appeared in earlier this year. So what I would like to stress here is that we really welcome participation from African ECOPs in all of these task teams. So on our website, you will find all these 5 task teams having their own web pages. And you can find information about what the task team is doing, who are the coordinators, how to contact them. And if you want to be an active member, if you want to contribute, you will find a way how to do this. So I would say some of our biggest task teams are ocean literacy and training and mentoring. So the interest in ocean literacy has always been so intense that we now have our global task team here, but also we have 2 regional task teams or hubs in Asia and in Africa, which will be launched this week, and you will hear more about this from the African coordinators. Training and mentoring as well, this is an overlapping concept, a task team that is truly international. So they are doing webinars within the ECOP program. They're coming up with ideas. They're thinking of creating their own mentorship program of the ECOP program. So if you would like to contribute to this, you can also directly contact them and see how you can participate. As Sarah also explained, we have now 11 endorsed projects, and even though some of them are truly international or working beyond their own regions, but there is one specific that is focused and located exactly in Africa, and this is one of the oldest endorsed projects that we had. It's called Vascal Cabo Verde Graduate School. And I will share the link with you later in the chat. So this is basically a training program that concerns West Africa countries, and they provide training opportunities for West African countries. So you can definitely check it up and see if you would like to apply to their programs. Right, okay, so this is our map. Distribution map of nodes. So we've been talking a lot about nodes. Thank you for the question about the nodes in India. It was just launched 2-3 weeks ago, so we actually need to mark it red now. So anyway, you can see all the nodes that we have in the world right now under the ECOP program. So if the pin is red, it means that this is an officially established node. It has a team of coordinators. It has a web page on our website. If the pin is yellow, it means that there is already someone appointed as a coordinator, but they might not have a separate web page yet, but there is already a coordinator working there. And the pin is in green means that there is a team who are working on development, but it has not been officially endorsed. So all these in red and yellow, they have they have progressed much more than those in green. With those in green, we have conversations, we have briefing sessions. I explain, or our regional coordinators explain how to establish a node, what to do, what are the steps, etc. They get connected with the ECOPs from their country, from our database. They have these calls, they have these conversations, they brainstorm, and we wait for the endorsement in the coming months. Now, following up on what Gabriel was saying, capacity development has always been a very prominent component, if not the most important one of our program since the beginning. So I just calculated how many ECOPs have actually participated in our programs, whether it's online courses or trainings or our recent in-person training. And I realized that we already have really quite a lot of ECOPs that we have touched with our capacity development opportunities. So now we'll provide several examples of what we do in terms of capacity development. So this is a list of webinars that we did in our ECOP program webinar series. So we started in September 2022, and this is what we have done so far. Now, this is completely free, and I'm sure many of you have participated in some of these. And Africa does pop up quite often in the themes, in the topics of these webinars. Now, if you would like to come up with a certain theme, or you would like to be a speaker maybe yourself on a certain topic, please do reach out to us. We have a dedicated email, which is webinars@ecopdecade.org. So webinars@ecopdecade.org. There is a dedicated team who is preparing the webinars. So again, in 2022, we had a specific webinar on the ocean decade in Africa, led by Anthony Nda, the African Ocean coordinator at that time. And then we also had a few others webinars that were really focused on certain aspects that was important for African ECOPs. This is I would like to share with you. This is one of our cooperation with some of the most known and biggest data providers, such as EUMETSAT, EMODNET, Mercator. So we are the ECOP program. We are one of the partners for this collaboration, and also the UN Syndicate Office for Data Sharing. So we have come up with this joint idea to have these webinars on how ocean data can help solve the UN Ocean Decade challenges. So, you know, there are 10 Ocean Decade challenges officially written out in the framework of the UN Ocean Decade. So with these webinars, we are tackling how ocean data can be found, can be used, what you can do with that in order to combat acidification or marine pollution, etc. So this one on the 15th of January, this will be already our third one. It's called Ocean-Driven Solutions for a Sustainable Economy and Resilient Communities. These webinars are very practical. So if you're interested, do register. It's for free. It's very hands-on, very practical, very useful. And you can ask any questions you'd like during the webinar. You get any links, etc. Really very helpful. So here is the website on this part. You can check it out, and the registration is there. Now, this is something that Gabriel was already talking about, and this is, again, to illustrate the point that Africa has always been one of the main recipients of our capacity development opportunities. So this is, again, you know, the same Gabriel was talking about in his presentation. We had these amazing rounds of funded trainings in 2022 through the support of IUC, UNESCO, and Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation. And we had all those 4 trainings. So we had 4 trainings that you see here for ECOPs in Africa that happened online. And we also had 4 similar trainings for ECOPs in Caribbean. So you can see that those 4 were happening in 2022. They were completely free for ECOPs. They were online. and they were done by two organizations, International Ocean Institute, their office in South Africa, and Gulf of Guinea Marine Institute by GOGME. And you can see from here that blue economy, blue entrepreneurship, ocean governance, all the topics that really in high demand for Africa. And we had really a lot of applications for those trainings. Yeah, this is again, just a list of trainings that Gabriel was doing through his work. And this is a slide for communications. And again, we have had really great stories from ECOPs in Africa in our ECOP Stories campaign or ECOP Conversations campaign or My Coastline campaign. But we always welcome more stories from you. So if you would like to be featured in an ECOP story campaign or ECOP conversation or My Coastline, please do reach out to us, and we will feature you and your work. So just quickly to explain you what's the difference. So an ECOP story is basically a written interview where Natalie Fox, our communications manager, she gives you a list of questions about you, about your work, why you chose to be where you are now, and you just write. In your time. You write what you are researching about your passion. ECOP Conversations is basically the same kind of discussion, but in the form of a podcast. So you actually get interviewed with a video. And My Coastline is a campaign regarding how to, it's a campaign about your coastline. So we had those fantastic submissions, video submissions, and actually I think most of them were actually from African countries, which is really great. And ECOPs were talking about what's happening with their coastline, how they work to combat those challenges, what needs still to be done to combat those challenges. And you can check it out also on our website. They are really excellent self-interviews, really very interesting. So we would like to welcome more contributions like this from our African Note community. And this is my last slide where I just put all of our social media channels so that you absolutely can follow us and not miss any opportunity. So this is our website. Please do subscribe to Ocean Decade Network or ODN. We have a specific ECOP group there. So first of all, Ocean Decade Network, for those of you who don't know about this is the place for the UN Ocean Decade. So this is done by the Decade Coordination Unit at REC UNESCO, and it has many groups. It has a map of stakeholders. It has a map of members. You can really use this to reach out to an institution in your region or to another ECOP in your region. And we have a really dedicated, very active group for ECOPs where you can also post things there. Maybe you're looking for a partner for a project, or you want to share an opportunity for a workshop in your country. We really welcome and encourage people to post there and share news and ask questions, etc. So I've put the link in the chat, how to subscribe to our monthly newsletter, but here's also a QR code here if you have missed that. So very soon we'll be launching our database of opportunities on our website, and it will be constructed in the way that all of the viewers of the website can also add an opportunity. So I really hope that this will be a turning point in this search for opportunities, whether it's funding or capacity development opportunity, and that all of us internationally, globally, can contribute to this joint effort to have a really great database with excellent opportunities for your studies and careers. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Eugenia. If you have any questions, kindly put it in the Q&A section. Okay. No questions.
There's someone here, Adoko. Raise hands. Do you have a question, Adoko? Anyone else, please join the session Q&A. We are trying to avoid questions on the chat for now, just to keep track on the program. Please, you can raise your hand and we can. All right, let's see here.
Just have one by Idoko. So he asked, what international agreements and frameworks govern the allocation and management of marine resources in the Pacific Ocean? And how do these agreements impact African countries' access to these resources?
This was from the previous talks, Jamaica. Let's try to stick to questions related to Virginia presentation, please. Divine, are you there? You raise also your hand.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much for the
Thank
opportunity.
you.
I'm very happy to be part of this important fair, and it's indeed a way we can continue to support the good agenda of the Ocean Decade and ECOP worldwide, as well as ECOP Africa. My question would be more like a question and a comment altogether, but I am very, very hopeful that the core message or the core thing I want to share would be well taken noted of. My question also derives from the first presenter, and then also from our global coordinator. My name is Divine, and I am a strong ECOP. At the same time, too, I serve here in Ghana with the IOC UNESCO office that is championing the Ocean Decade agenda in Ghana and in the regional south of West Africa. My issue or my concern has to do with one of the main blocks that I think Madam Evanja shared in her presentation, that has to do with the task forces that are responsible for the key themes for Africa or the ECOP node. For example, there is a task force responsible for the diversity and then inclusion. At the same time, too, it is one of the main blocks of ECOP Africa to engage in ocean literacy, where we can share educational and scientific awareness through related activities. I must share that ECOP is doing so well. However, for my experiences in Ghana, I think we can do more than we are doing. And so my first question is, in addressing or in handling inclusivity, I think there needs to be a connection between the ECOP node and the various IOC, UNESCO, or the National Decade implementing committees in the country. For example, with this program that we are aware of, when attendance was needed, for example, or when if it needed to go out to people to know, for example, it was shared with the chairperson of the IOC of UNESCO, and that is great. However, you and I know, together with the ECOP coordinators of Ghana, that there is no inclusivity enough, there is no diversity. And so at the moment, we are not truly harnessing from the correct representation of ECOP that we have in the country. We have not included at a fair level ECOPs that must be included. I'm just bringing this up just for us to know that there are potentially a lot of benefits we can derive from ECOP at our individual and at our national stages. even before any foreign supports come. Because there is a lot of capacity we have built within the ECOP level. When you go to the universities across in Ghana, most of the universities run natural sciences. And so there are people that are capable of contributing very strongly to ECOP Ghana and to the ECOP Africa North. But I think we must again look at the inclusivity and the diversity and how we manage leadership and coordination, particularly for Ghana North. Thank you very much. And this is but I will be very happy if we could discuss this further so that we can fully harness the true benefit of ECOP inclusivity. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Divine. Virginia, you or me?
Yes, yeah, you can go ahead, Sarah.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. It was a very, very good point, Divine, and I'm glad to hear from you. Yeah, so in terms of the refinement of the interaction of the ECOP regional nodes with the national nodes and the upcoming nodes, but also those that are, those countries that still don't have a node. We are trying to reach out to the NDCs. Unfortunately, we run out of time to undertake further meetings with NDCs to discuss how we can maximize the common efforts that we have with the UN Ocean Decade, but also, like you said, institutions like IOC to have this prioritization within each country in Africa, not only those that do have a node and not those that are not represented yet in the ECOP program. I agree with you, we are not fully represented in our current network, and that's one of the objectives for the way forward for the upcoming years. We would like to get in touch with the more NDCs as possible to start these discussions on synergies, common synergies, and more importantly, to have focal points, regardless if the country has a node or not. We have focal points, national focal points of ECOPs that can become part of the core team and engage more closely in our programs. For example, the capacity development program. So in terms of capacity development, tomorrow I'm going to talk about that. We have teaming programs for the hub, for example, climate change, ocean innovation, biodiversity monitoring, and so on. And for these programs, we would like to get focal points of as many countries as possible to become part of the hub. So when we do have an activity, all these activities go and reach out to a diverse scenario, diverse audience as well. So that's what we would like to do in the upcoming years. And I think it's a very, very important point. Thank you so much. We're going to discuss this further throughout the week for sure, especially during the Ocean Literacy Hub launch and tomorrow in the Capacity Development Hub launch. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Anyone else?
We'll take just one last question. Are there records of capacity development webinars?
Yes. So all the webinars in the webinar series, we have recordings on our YouTube channel. The ones, the one that, yeah, I think the one that Gabriel was leading, we don't possibly have the recordings because we needed people to be actually like present, because they were also giving assignments, etc. So it's really a very interactive and cooperative effort. But for the webinars, yes, for the in-person meeting, in-person course in Malta, so we didn't record anything. But yeah, for any webinars, we always have recordings.
Okay. Thank you, Virginia. So back to Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Virginia, for a very good presentation overview of the contribution of our nodes towards the global program. That was very, very good. And now we're gonna just close up our event of today. Thank you so much for those that attended. I just want to go through quickly to our final campaign to support us, please. If you would like to become a partner or sponsor for the ECOP African Node, please reach out to us through the website or our email, and also my personal email from the ECOP program. Please email me. We can try to set up meetings and discuss further how we can collaborate or partner. We are looking to any kind of support. Like I said, our current national nodes, especially, and hubs and test teams do not have any financial support, so we would like to be open to that, especially if we have any kind of in-kind support or funding that you would like to direct to these activities related to our nodes. We are very welcome to discuss this further with you. To finalize, we're just gonna go through the program tomorrow. So tomorrow, like I said, Tuesday the 10th, we're gonna be just the event's gonna be focused only on capacity building. It's gonna be very exciting. Please join us again tomorrow at 10 a.m. UTC time. We're gonna have myself launching the capacity development hub. I'm gonna show you some of the projects that we have related to this hub and how we're gonna try to reach our objectives on launching this hub for the upcoming years of the ECOP program. Then we're gonna also have our consultation just related to capacity building. So please join us. It's gonna be quite relevant for us to get this answer so we can address the priorities and the needs for African ECOPs in the upcoming years. Then we're gonna have our current partners showcasing the engagement towards capacity development in Africa. We're gonna have Go for Guinea Maritime Institute with Lawrence Dogley tomorrow. After that, we're gonna have a Cap Forest Foundation with Angelique Odds. And then following with Ayub Akbaro from the Mohammed VI Foundation. And finally, Gabrielle Juma will be back to talk about our Blue Cat project. So it's gonna be very exciting. Please join us tomorrow. All right, so I think that's it. Thank you so much, everyone who joined us today. I really appreciate our members. Chiamaka, can you take over from here?
Yes, thank you. So I just want to say thank you to Virginia, Natalie, all our core team members, our partners and speakers, and all our attendees for being present for this event. And we hope you are able to join us tomorrow and for subsequent days. And hopefully we all get something out of this end of the year events. Looking forward to an even better 2025.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow then. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.